Alright, what's up, you guys? Today I'm gonna go over the trades that I took over with my Discord and the mentorship also. I was watching AMD because of yesterday's closure. One of the things that I was looking for was that I saw this demand zone being held off of AMD. I checked the 4 hour for last night to kind of see how that looked out. I was seeing that this 162 area was where it was rejecting, right? So I needed this to break out because also I was noticing the range that actually happened, which is this higher low. We needed to hold this level of 159.75. Okay, so obviously that happened today, but I was wanting to get a bounce off of this section, right? So what I did was that I waited on the 15-minute time frame. I waited to see if we had a bounce off of this section, off of that 159 area, to see if it held, and then for me to take my positions for entry. So the first thing that I did was just, since I noticed that on pre-market it actually came back up, right? I was noticing pre-market, like, oh, on pre-market, all I will analyze this market was, okay, I'm gonna take this back up, hopefully for a bounce, and hit this target and go to the next one. So when I have these target levels, doesn't mean that I'm gonna wait for it to hit precisely, because most of the times these levels aren't like, oh, hit to the target. It'll probably go over, come back down, and then break out. But that's what doing being a trader is. You have to analyze the market and knows where some buyers are setting up and sellers. Okay, so in this case, this is a level that I was watching. I was expecting either this we go up, because on pre-market it was looking like it was gonna just, before when I woke up I saw this, right? So my first analysis was like, okay, we're gonna bounce off of this and break out for that and continue up, and just whatever it does from there on. Obviously this doesn't go precisely where it could just do this, do this, but like that, and then do this, and at some point reach. So we don't know what's gonna happen, but the whole point is that our levels are there, our reaction is gonna be there to the candle. So we could have gotten a position from here right at the bottom, right? Have our stop loss below the level, which is what I usually do. Enter there, maybe below here, have a little bit more of a risk. And the same thing here, have the risk a little bit off just for the wicks, not to get us out. Same thing, we could have entered even on top of there. Take it back to this one. So just so you guys know, and don't be saying or thinking that, oh, target to target is not gonna work like that all the time. So I was just watching for a bounce just because of the momentum and because we have passed this demand zone and we're back inside of this. Usually this one pushes it back up to 164, and if it breaks there, then we go back to the next one, back to the supply that we have on top. So the only thing that I have and was watching was this. This was the play of AMD, which was a good setup for me. So all I did was just waited for the 15 minutes, and I noticed that this came back down. So I was like, you know what? I think we might try to come back down, and this will be my scenario two. So I have this as scenario number two, and this scenario number four, I guess, right? Number three, my bad. Something like this could happen. We don't know, right? We just know that this could go to here, from here to there, and our risk management is right there to help us out. So what happened was that this dropped down, so I was like, okay, you could have bought the morning bounce, but at the end I didn't. I just waited for 15 minutes, and once this closed, I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go to the smaller time frame, which I was looking at the 1 minute at this point. So I go to the 1 minute, I use the 1 minute a lot. Look, you could have entered right off this bounce, off of this engulfing, or off of this higher low section here. Let me move the background. This little higher low that we created, right? So what I did was that I waited for this breakout of this level to see how it reacted. So as soon as that happened, I was just waiting patiently, waiting patiently. I saw this little hammer coming in. So I was like, you know what? We could take those 165s or 167s, because it goes by 165 and then 167.5, and then the next contract was 170. So I wanted for this week, right? So what I did was like, you know what? I'm gonna get some here. My stop loss is gonna be at the bottom, and I'm just gonna take it back up. So I had this position like that. It's like we have a stop at the bottom. We want to take it. That entry, we kept holding it. We held it. We were up on this section, but I said just to wait. just to wait a little bit longer. Let's see what happens. And we left the same stop loss. So at that point, our stop was still at 20% stop, which is what I usually have. And at the end, when it came back up, I was like, you know what, it could still go. Why? And the reason why I held is not because of the 1 minute time frame, it's because this time frame closed with the 1 hour. So I had checked the 1 hour once the 1 hour was formed, and this is exactly what I saw on the 1 hour. It's this candle here, this one. I was like, that looks good. I'm gonna keep holding it. That's it. We'll hold it to the next one. What happened? The end, it just kept going up. So at my stop loss, my target was this one, 165. When it came up to 165, which was hitting my alert, right? It hit here, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change my stop loss. So you guys could think, how am I able to hold the whole position? Is because I use my stop losses with the whole market. So I'm following it, following it. Once it hit that level, I did my stop loss like this, and I was either we take the money or we're not. So we were always waiting, waiting again. I kept watching it. Saw the 1 hour creating another higher low here on top of it. So I was like, okay, we could probably hit that 168. Let's keep holding. So we changed our stop. You guys could see the Discord how I ended up doing this. This is the Discord live. You could see how I ended up always telling everybody to raise your stop. Okay, so once we entered, I was telling people to get their stop. 5% to stop loss to 1.15. We're up 77. We leave runners to the blue dot. Same thing here. Put our stop loss again. We were up to 10. It was so quick. So then that's when I was like, just wait for Tesla. I was looking for another one. I'm still waiting. AMD at the end, getting close to our target to 253%, which was close to here already. So the only thing I was watching was that we need this high to break. If it holds, I'm holding the whole thing. If not, I'm gonna just get out. But once I got this, I was like, you know what? Let's just get out. It's taking forever. I was noticing on the 15-minute that it was creating a doji, which I didn't like, close to the supply. So I told him to get out or trim. So what I did is that I just got out almost 90% of my position and left the runner. And then at the end of the day, look what it just did. I guess it was a perfect exit. And yes, I could have taken some puts off of this and maybe make some money. But at the end of the day, I was like, that was a good run. Take it back here or maybe back down to the bottom. But that's a good target back to the open. And you could have trimmed some there. That's basically the end of the day. And the second one that I took was NQ at the morning. So I have NQ on this side. This was the morning open, 6:30 in the morning. It's my time. I was watching that it had dropped below. So on the 5 minute, all I did was that I was checking the 5. And as soon as I saw that it was breaking out this level that I have, this purple line, I was checking to see if it was actually going to hold. So because it didn't go below none of this, I was still expecting a bounce because I was still bullish overall, you know. So because this happened, went back up, right? I missed this pump up. So I was just waiting slowly to see what's going on. So once I saw that this came back in and this closed, I skip to a smaller time frame. So if I go to the 1 minute again, I was showing you. I go to the 1 minute, you see how this came back up, came back down again, held here. So I entered off of this candle. This one I didn't because of the 5 minute. I didn't like it. So I entered once it bounced off. I entered some puts here for a quick scalp to take it back down to 18670. So it's just a one contract back down. And I trimmed right. I got out of there quickly, which I should have bought two, but I didn't. So then I entered again one more time. So this was my position basically. My stop loss was above the candle. My target was there, but I just got out after this move because it was aggressive. And my second entry was right here. After this candle closed, my stop loss was right there. And I just held it. I held it until it hits here. I bought 3 contracts at this position and took it back up. But once it hit this target, I was noticing that it was rejecting slowly. So all I did was raise my stop back to under that candle and left it a little bit closer like that. At the end, it broke out. So I was like, okay, my next target is here. So how the hell did I get that 18,756.25? If I go and zoom out quickly, you'll notice that what I do to get my levels, especially since this one wasn't made yet, right? The only way that I calculated that was basically getting the measurement from the previous levels that I have, which is the candle movement from here to there, and then if you extend it to the top, it'll give you kind of like a prediction of where it could go, right? And look, so that's where I put my level. So I was like, okay, we might get there to there. Then this level here obviously was already made before the market opened, so I just had that's a high. That was it. I would only go into puts or short the market if it goes below this 18,644 and then take it back down to write it down next to this section, right? Back to here, below there, we go back to there, and then keep going lower. So I was waiting on that one. So now we're still barely holding. If we do go above this, I'm still bearish because it's creating lower highs. And you can see how there's a trend here also. So if it does reject one more time, we could flush a little bit more down. Maybe come back to this, do something like this, right? The whole time. And then from there, it depends. Like if I see buyers stepping up, then I will take a little small position. But if it breaks through here, that's it. Take it back up and probably create new highs. So I'm still waiting on this. Obviously, it's already after hours. And that's how I got my level. And obviously, the second level you could have gotten it too. Look, if you get the measurement from this section to here, that's about it. Grab it, put it up there. Look, and there you go. Right now, I'm just looking at Tesla too, because I have a demand zone there. I swung some calls all the way to 190, 187, 190 calls. That's the ones that I took out for a swing. Small entry Tesla 54190C for next week. So I was waiting for this. At the end, I got what I wanted. So that's what I'm looking for a nice bounce. 170 is my target. 181. Max is 185. And you guys already saw how I do my stop losses. Is basically, since this one's a little bit more farther, I could do this, right? 20% is right there. Once it goes higher, hits that target, I'm gonna raise it again. Maybe move this high, and everything is green, and just keep following it throughout the whole move. So, alright, you guys, that's my trade for today, which is the 16th. And hope you guys have a good one. Happy Friday tomorrow. See ya.